Thanks for joining us today. You're listening to the International Moving Podcast, your guide to moving to another country, brought to you by SDC International Shipping, LA's finest. An international move is exciting. It's a time to start over, establish a new business, maybe reestablish family ties, or retire where your budget will do more for you. Or maybe just the weather's more to your liking. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you have any questions about your international move, please give us a call at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962.
Hi, this is Rob with SDC International Shipping. I am a General Manager of International Relocations, and I want to spend a little time with you today discussing your relocation from the USA to France, and specifically your shipping of your household goods and personal effects. Every year, France is more and more popular in terms of a destination for us, and in fact, I believe it is certainly within our top three in terms of destination countries for relocations at this point. We've been at this for well over a decade, so we have a tremendous amount of experience, and based on that, I wanted to go over a few things. First of all, I think it's important for you to understand what we believe, based on our experience, is important for you to look for in an international shipping company. The other side of that coin, perhaps, what should you be looking out for, watching out for? What are the red flags that you should be watching out for when working with an international shipping company? Also, I want to go through the process itself. I think it's important for you to understand the process from start to finish based on a typical door-to-door scenario. And then also I'll answer a lot of the frequently asked questions that always come up, as well as a lot of the frequently unasked questions. But I think that they're important for you to understand so that you're more educated in terms of the whole process, shipping to France. So without further ado, let me jump in. Based on my experience, what do I think is important for you to look for in an international shipping company? Well, first of all, the obvious one is going to be expertise and experience. At SDC, like I said, we've got well over a decade experience doing nothing but international shipping. And you want to work with a company that has a tremendous amount of experience and is expert in making that happen door to door. There are more moving parts than most people know in this sort of a transaction. And you must work with a company that has a tremendous amount of experience so that everything is taken care of. All the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed ahead of time. Customs clearance is just a formality with a company like SDC. So that's critically important. Another thing that I know is very important is that you want to work with a company that has an internal, dedicated support and logistics team. Any company, anybody, any name can come and book a job, but will they be there in terms of support and the logistics to answer your questions, to make sure that all the documentation, all those T's that we talked about and I's that we talked about are crossed and dotted? That's critically important. So what we do at SDC is once a job is booked, we bring into the fold a support and logistics manager who specializes, in this case France, specializes in that destination, make sure that everything is in order so that there are no challenges and problems along the way. And also they're there to answer any questions you might have. So if you have a question, you can call or email or both and make sure that you get an answer to your question so that, we stay with you from start to finish. And the support and logistics internal team is very critical to that. So you want to work with a company that has something like that. Here's an obvious one, and that is the online reviews. Make sure that you're looking at companies that have and look at their online reviews with the major sites that nobody can fiddle with the results. Yelp is a good one, Google as well. So the major sites, look at their online reviews. Anyone can have a bad review here or there. That is human nature, I suppose. It's almost impossible not to have something at some time, but the preponderance should be 4 and 5 star, and at SDC certainly we possess that. Another one that's critically important, really it is, and it doesn't apply in every single case. There are exceptions to this, but I believe that there should be a visual survey of some form. So in other words, the international shipping company needs to put their eyes on what you're doing. So not only to truly understand the volume, how much space is being occupied in the container on the ship, but also what the extra and additional needs might be. In other words, I can look at a filing cabinet and understand, okay, how much room does it occupy, and what am I going to have to do to make sure that it's wrapped and protected the appropriate, perfect way so that it goes from start to finish, door to door, in the exact same condition that it started in, right? But that is going to be different than a glass china cabinet. We're going to do things a little bit differently, even if the volume turns out to be roughly the same. So we really want to understand what you are shipping and what your true needs are, all of them, so that when we come back to you with the proposal, it's intelligent and based upon exactly what you're doing. So that visual survey, whether it's in person or virtual, is critically important in many cases, the majority of cases, as a matter of fact. So make sure that a company doesn't want to put their eyes on it. That's a red flag, I would think. Let's jump into the red flags, the other side of the coin, the things that, in our experience, you should be watching out for, things that are red flags. One of them is a proper, legitimate, true international shipping company, a relocation company like SDC. It's a business we're in, and that's all we do, and we handle things from door to door. So when you're speaking with us, we have all the information, we take care of everything. Let's contrast that with a company that might just be a name. They get a booking, and then they begin looking around for other third parties possibly, or fourth parties you just don't know, in order to try and handle all the different aspects and elements of that particular shipment. Again, SDC, we're the real deal. This is what we do, start to finish. We're not a broker, but so what are some of the downsides of not working with a true legitimate company, working with one of these, what we might call a broker? Well, first of all, the communication is going to suffer with a broker because they're not really the company. If you have a question for them, they're going to have to reach out to a third, and the third party is going to have to perhaps reach out to someone you just don't know to get an answer. So the communication is going to suffer, and then more importantly, probably the quality. A broker who isn't really engaged in this business themselves exclusively might use a third party today that they didn't use last month, and that next month they might not be using. Who knows? And so they don't know necessarily what the quality is going to be. It's really up in the air. Whereas at SDC, we have one way of doing things, that's the right way, and it's handled by us. So be on the lookout for true, proper, legitimate companies versus something a little bit different. Another one, what we call the bait and switch, or the lowball pricer, and this is out there quite a bit. You ever seen a commercial on TV that says as low as or starting at? That isn't necessarily the product that you are looking for. So that price isn't your price. And in addition, in this industry, a lot of people just throw out low price, and without doing that visual surveys, throw price out and hope for the best at the end. What we have experienced, unfortunately, is that very often the low price will be the highest price in terms of dollars, and sometimes other things as well. So be real careful about the company that just throws out a lowball price. What we do is we try to really understand here at SDC. We really try to understand what your situation is, what the circumstances are, what your needs are, and provide the absolute best price to do it. Again, we only do things one way, and that's the right way. So watch out for the lowball price, the bait and switch. We call it the bait and switch also. Oh gosh, we didn't know you had this, that, and the other thing. And oh gosh, we can't actually ship it for that price. We're going to need more money, but they've already got your stuff, so watch out. Another one, this is a red flag for sure. This is maybe a glowing, flashing neon red flag, and that is any company that's requiring money upfront deposits, cash. I would be very cautious of something like that. We do not. Is a security deposit or a security authorization acceptable? Because there are things that have to be booked and scheduled and things of that nature upfront. Yeah, but upfront money deposits, I would be very, very cautious like that. And at SDC, we do not take upfront cash deposits. The other side of the look for good reviews. Consistently poor reviews on the online website, something that you certainly want to watch out for. That's a red flag. Like I said, anyone can have a or a couple, bad reviews based on misunderstandings or who knows what. Again, we don't know. But The preponderance should be 4 or 5 stars like we are. So watch out for the consistent bad reviews. That's a red flag. Finally, lack, and this is very important, lack of a comprehensive proposal. That's a red flag. Certainly when I engage with a client, or anyone at SDC, when we engage with the client, we're going to have some discussions, and a little bit casual discussions, and try to understand what things are. We're going to throw out ballpark prices based on what we understand, based on discussions. But ultimately, true proper company is going to provide a professional, comprehensive proposal, quote, and that is going to spell out, of course, a price. But for this price, this is what's included. This is what is not included, perhaps, so that it's very, very clear and transparent what is included in the price. Failure to do this, I would say, is a major red flag if a company is just throwing out a price, because, again, it's going to come down to the as low as starting at. Oh, gee, I'm sorry. That's just the boat ride. You want your items picked up and packed and taken to the ship, and actually transported on board, and then customs cleared, and then brought to your door. That's totally different price. Well, be careful of that. So again, professional, comprehensive proposal. Lack of that is a red flag, and SDC will only provide you before booking with a full, comprehensive, and professional proposal. First of all, let's talk about the process from a 10,000 foot view. I'm not going to go granular on you at all, but basically the process goes like this. There's going to be that initial interaction, the initial engagement on the telephone probably, where we discuss a little bit about what your needs are, what you're shipping, when you're shipping, where you're shipping, all of that. I tell you a little bit about us, answer the questions you might have, and sort of provide a ballpark price because we more or less understand. There's going to be a range because our job is to do things the exact right way and to make sure that it's done the least costly method of doing things the right way. So, but we're going to give you a ballpark to start off. From there, what we like to do generally, not always, but generally, is try to schedule a visual survey, whether it's in person or virtual by FaceTime or WhatsApp or Zoom. We like to put our eyes, we can meet each other, and also put our eyes on what your inventory is going to be. That's really, really important. After that, the next step would be to provide you, the client, with a professional proposal that we talked about earlier. So you see everything, what it's going to cost. This is what we've seen. This is what we are including. This is what is being excluded, and all of that. If everything looks good, then you would book. And then once the booking is done, we've already selected the date and the time. The next step would be for our team to arrive at the designated time and date and pick everything up as required. There are all different ways of doing that, of course. A huge job might take 3 days to wrap and protect prior to loading anything into a container. Smaller jobs, everything's handled the same day, perhaps even half a day. So, but ultimately, we're going to come. We're going to make sure everything's taken care of the right way, pick everything up, and it makes its way to the port. At some point, it is loaded, of course, into a container. The container is loaded onto the ocean vessel. Ocean vessel has a sailing date, and it ships across the ocean. From there, it arrives at the port of entry. Now, prior to that, at SDC, our internal support logistics team you've interacted with those folks and made sure that everything is ready and the skids are greased, so to speak, so that when we do the shipment does get to the port of entry, customs clearance becomes just a formality. It goes right through, nice and smooth, and then everything is ultimately delivered to your new residence there in France, in this case. Delivering to your residence in France, what does that mean? Well, that means taking all the boxes and putting them in the rooms that you designate. If you want the boxes put here and some there and some there, that's what we do. Any furniture that has been disassembled in the shipping process, it is reassembled and it is placed in the room, whichever room you would like those items to be placed as well. We further clean up any trash that might be around, take it away, and then we're done. You're ready to enjoy your new residence with all of your new things. We can go a step further, of course, and provide white glove service. We can unpack the boxes, put dishes in the cupboards. We can, anything that you like is an optional service. We can absolutely handle. Okay, so that's sort of the process. That's door to door, assuming an ocean transfer, an ocean shipment type situation. If it happened to be air, We could do that too, no problem. The only difference is, of course, that we're shipping by the port of exit and the port of entry is an airport rather than an ocean port, but we can absolutely handle that. Let's talk about what you can't ship. Every country has a list of items that are prohibited in shipping. And now remember, what we're doing here is shipping your household goods and personal effects to your new residence in France. And we want to make sure that we're maybe a little bit more strict on that one because we don't want challenges or problems or inspections or anything like that. But every country has a list. Many or most of the countries have some items that are common. I'm not going to get granular. I'm not going to go into detail on that. You're on the website. We have it right here. In addition, if you're engaged with an international shipping relocation specialist here at SDC, we certainly can help you and walk you through all of the things that you cannot ship. But obviously, food stuff, liquids, flammable items, chemicals, explosives, counterfeit, loose diamonds, ivory. These are the common ones. Of course, you can't ship with your household goods. But the list is there. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on that as it would take too long. Let's talk a little bit about packing and protecting your goods for the shipment. First of all, let's split it into two pieces. First of all, you have your furniture, things that do not go into a box, like a desk, like an office chair at your home, a bed, a sofa, appliances, coffee tables, things that don't go into boxes. SDC, we automatically wrap and protect and take care of those items as appropriate. Now, we're going to handle and protect a filing cabinet probably a little different than we are an antique glass china cabinet. However, they're both going to be taken care of, wrapped and protected appropriately, so they go from point A to point B in the exact same condition both sides. So that's furniture, things that do not go into boxes. Now, things that do go into a box, a moving box. A couple ways of handling that. You, the client, you can do the packing. You can provide the packing boxes, the packing material, and do it. The boxes have to be labeled, of course. Nothing too, it doesn't have to be real detailed. Box number 1, books. Box number 2, kitchen plates. Box number 3, pots and pans. Box number 4, shoes, things of that nature. And then you'll also have to create, if you're doing the packing, you also have to create an inventory listing that matches the boxes. So again, it would say box number 1, shoes. Box number 2, books. It matches up. Very simple. Now, the other side of that is we, the agent, can do the full professional packing of the boxes. In that case, we handle everything. We provide the boxes and the packing material. We take care of everything. We label the boxes and we do the professional inventory list. Sometimes that can help a little bit at customs on the port of entry in France because they see it was done by a professional agent. And it's just sometimes it can be quicker, but it's not necessary. We can handle it either way. There's also a hybrid model where some clients will say, Rob, I would like to pack all of my boxes except for the china. You guys handle that. And the flat screen TVs. Okay. We can, bill it that way. It'll be packed by owner, but with a few things that we've handled that way. Next, let's talk about other things that we pack and protect and wrap and ship, and we're expert at doing it. Things like art and fine art and sculptures. Everything from wrapping and protecting to soft crating, using, humidity absorbing paper, acid-free paper, wrapping, protecting, soft crating your art, all the way up to hard custom crates. We do that. We do it all the time. We're expert at doing it. We move museums even from country to country when they relocate exhibits. So we really have a lot of expertise in handling that, and you can feel very comfortable that we can handle that. Musical instruments such as grand pianos, baby grands, uprights, organs, no problem. We handle all of those things. Your strong instruments as well. We do everything. Game room items such as billiard tables. We handle that. We can do the disassembly, professional disassembly, the shipping and reassembly, or you can handle the disassembly and reassembly. We'll work with you on that, but we're expert at shipping those items as well. We do quite a bit of the nice pinball machines as well, the old vintage and collectible pinball machines. And there's a lot of glass, there are lots of delicate mechanisms inside, so that's very, very important. And we do a tremendous number of those for the international shipping. And so we're expert at handling that as well. So you can look to us. Let's talk about also shipping your vehicle, your car. to France. Absolutely, we can handle that. We help you with that as part of your shipment, your household goods shipment. You definitely want to try to tie your car in with the household goods shipment, because you get that one time, if everything's in order, you get the one-time exemption in terms of duties and any VAT that might be due. You get that exemption. So you definitely want to make that part of, keep it in the same group as your household goods shipment for that, and we can absolutely handle. Just definitely reach out to us and work with your relocation specialist on your vehicle. Same goes for your motorcycle. If you have a motorcycle or motorcycles to bring over, absolutely can handle that. We do it all the time. Okay, let's talk about shipping and sending your furry four-legged friend over. Yes, absolutely, we can definitely handle that as well. We do that all the time. That is part of our service. So again, engage with your SDC relocation specialist to handle your four-legged furry friends and get them over there to your new home as well. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about maritime insurance. So insurance coverage on your goods from door to door while they're in transit. There are a couple different, generally speaking, there are a couple different types of insurance. First of all, total loss insurance. Total loss insurance is just that. Everything was lost or it wasn't. It's an all or nothing policy. Kind of think the boat sank or the boat didn't sink. If one item is damaged or missing, it's not covered, because everything has to be lost or damaged or not. It's an all or nothing policy, as I mentioned, but the price for that is going to be whatever dollar value you place, your assessed value of all of the items, times 2.5%. So 2.5% of your assessed value of all your items is the premium cost for total loss insurance. Now, the next type of insurance is what we call full coverage. Full coverage means if one item is damaged or lost, it's covered if you've insured it. And you can insure one item or 3 items or 10 items or all items. You can pick and choose, and they will be covered if you've insured them. The cost of the premium cost for that insurance is 3% of your declared value of the items. Now, you're going to have to declare a value per item or per box, so that obviously if you have a big green egg barbecue grill and it's damaged or missing, it doesn't happen much at all, if ever, but that's the purpose of insurance. If you've insured that item, and maybe that only that item, well, then whatever you declared the value to be, you pay the 3% premium for it, for the policy, and it's covered. And it's just as simple as that. So that is full coverage insurance. Hopefully this has been very helpful to you. It's certainly intended to be. And if we can ever help you in any way for your shipment of household goods and personal effects from the United States to France or any other destination, do reach out to SDC International Shipping. It will be our pleasure to help you with that. Have a great day.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for listening. Whether you're relocating within the country or moving to the other side of the world, we're here to help from start to finish. Connect with us today at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962.